Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. I don't think you guys were expecting me to upload 2 Orioles videos in 3 days, but figured I'd give you guys a little treat. So we've got a lot to cover today, a big episode. We wrapped up the month of April last time, started up the month of May, and our Orioles are on a 5-game win streak. We're playing good baseball right now. We really started the season off slow, but now we're only 1 game under 500. We're going to be talking about the minor leagues today, going over AA opening day, also getting our first look at the AAA squad, and then we'll be playing a major league game as well, and we will be going up to the draft in today's episode. The draft itself will be next episode. A lot of fun young players in this minor league core. There are a ton of good players on this AA team. The name I'm excited to watch is Louis St. John, the 5th overall pick in last year's draft. I think he's going to be one of our franchise cornerstones. I have had him playing in AAA for the past month. He hit about 225. I figured as long as he didn't do extremely well, I would just send him down to AA, and that's what I ended up doing. There are a few other really good prospects here. Heston Kjerstad's great. Xavier Edwards, Christian Robinson, Adam Hall, Reynel Delgado. This AA squad is super loaded. I think it's one of the best AA rosters in the big leagues. And there are no shortage of elite prospects. Obviously, LSJ, that goes without saying. But Kjerstad and Edwards and Delgado as well, who all have a potential. The pitching rotation, again, just like last year, will be headlined by Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall. I think Rodriguez could get called up possibly as early as later this year if he plays well. DL Hall I still think is a little bit away, but I do like his potential. And then in the bullpen, watch out for Julian Starnes, our second rounder a year ago. He has a potential, and I think he could be the long-term closer for the Orioles, although he is a little bit raw, only at a 63 overall. So let's get this one underway. AA opening day here in the 2022 season. Our Bowie Bay Sox will be taking on the Portland Sea Dogs, the AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. So technically a little AL East clash, even though it's our AA teams. Here's a look at both lineups. Watch out for the middle of our lineup. 2, 3, 4, Edwards, St. John, and Kjerstad. Those are the big names to watch. Starting for the Portland Sea Dogs will be Steven Gonzalez, who was once a top prospect with the Twins organization. Never really panned out there. He is still only 25 years old, trying to revitalize his career in the Red Sox organization. Adam Hall leading things off for the Bay Sox. He is going to be shopping gap here for extra bases. Hall trying to go to second. He is gunned down. Nice throw by the right fielder. Adam Hall is really fast. Tried to be a little bit too aggressive, and it didn't work out. After Xavier Edwards' walk, that'll bring up Louis St. John, his first AA at-bat. Really excited to see what he can do with this organization. And his first AA at-bat, it wasn't a good one. He grounds into a double play. So, not an ideal start for LSJ, but there's only one way left to go, and that's up. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning now. Grayson Rodriguez getting the start for the Bay Sox. I think he has a chance to be a really special major leaguer in a short amount of time. Again, if he plays well in the minors, he could get called up, possibly as soon as later this season. Here is Mike Poppy up at the dish with 1 out. He crushes this one deep into right, no doubt about it. And the Sea Dogs will start this one on top. It's a very shallow wall in right field, and it's also a very short wall. So if you're a power-hitting lefty, you're going to have a major advantage in this ballpark today. Later in the first inning, Jeter Downs goes down looking. Downs was part of the Mookie Betts trade with the Dodgers. The Sea Dogs do get on the board, but Grayson Rodriguez does redeem himself. Bottom 2, Dylan Hardy gets fooled on the curveball. Nice pitch from Rodriguez, his 3rd K of the day. Rodriguez does not have great walks per 9, which is a concern because you do need good walks per 9 in MLB The Show Sim. But other than that, I think he's really talented. Here's Adam Hall, was thrown out going to second last at bat. This time he's going to try to leg out a triple, and he is safe. So with 2 outs, the Bay Sox get a runner 90 feet away from home, and a major opportunity for Xavier Edwards, who was acquired last year at the deadline. Doesn't look like he'll capitalize as this one is weakly hit into right field. It will be caught by the Sea Dogs. 3 shutout innings of work for Steven Gonzalez. He looks fairly good so far. Only 3 hits so far for the Bay Sox. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Runner on, nobody out for George Warren. That one will go into right field for extra bases. Heston Kjerstad kind of misplayed the angle of it. And that'll be an RBI triple for Warren as the runner will score. And the Portland Sea Dogs will take a 2-0 lead. And now they have a runner on third with nobody out. A prime opportunity to drive them in. They would not be successful. The next three batters would go down 1-2-3, ending with a flyout from Jonathan Orioles. So the Sea Dogs do get a run, but you feel like they could have gotten more. Louis St. John leading off the fourth inning. He draws a walk. LSJ's plate discipline is not great. Has a lot of work to do in that area, so it's good to see him drawing a walk. Here's Heston Kjerstad. He singled in his first at-bat of the game, and he will single in his second. Kjerstad had an outstanding season last year in Double-A. He's another guy who I think could be a major leaguer here this season in 2022 if he plays well enough in the minors. The following batter, Anthony McGathick, gets plunked, so that'll load the bases with nobody out for Christian Robinson. A major opportunity. He really just has to put the ball in play, and the Bay Sox should score, and it looks like he will do just that. This one's actually going to drop for a hit. So Kjerstad was supposed to go home. I tried to send him. Instead, he runs back to third. This happened in the last episode, too. I pressed send home. I don't know why he went back. So the Bay Sox do get an RBI off the Christian Robinson single, but, I mean, he should have gone home. It should be tied at 2. One away for Hudson Haskin. This one will be flied deep in a right center field off the wall. Another runner will come home to score. That's McGathick. An RBI double for Hudson Haskin. And now the game is tied at 2. Should have been tied already. It should be a Bay Sox lead right now. 2 away for Kobe Mayo, who crushes it deep in a right center field at the track at the wall. It's caught. If the center fielder did not track down that ball, Bowie is scoring 2 on that play. The Bay Sox did drive 2 across. I don't think they're overly upset as they are able to tie the game. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth. It's Dylan Hardy, who struck out in his first at-bat. He will not strike out here as this one is crushed into right field. Again, I feel like Kjerstad kind of misplayed the angle there. Kjerstad has a lot of work to do defensively. At the plate, he mashes the baseball, but he needs to work a lot in the outfield, especially if he's going to be an everyday starter there in the big leagues. Luckily for the Bay Sox, Portland is not able to drive anybody across. That batter grounds out to third. So the game remains tied at 2 through 4. We've had ourselves a pretty good one so far. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning now. It's Hudson Potts, one of the better prospects in this Red Sox organization, launches a nuke deep into straightaway center field. That one goes off the batter's eye, and the Sea Dogs will quickly regain the lead as it is now 3-2. Mike Poppy went deep earlier. This time he will ground to Mayo. Mayo gets it to Edwards over to first for the 5-4-3 double play. That'll end the 5th inning. That'll end Grayson Rodriguez's day. He was adequate. Not bad, but not great either, allowing 3 runs. The Sea Dogs will make a pitching change of their own as well, with Antonio Palacios entering the game. His first batter is Heston Kjerstad, who launches a missile deep into right field, and that one will travel over the fence. A solo shot for Heston Kjerstad, who is 3 for 3 at the plate, including that beauty. Kjerstad led all of Double-A, like literally, he led all Double-A leagues last year in home runs. So it's good to see him quickly getting one here, as this one is knotted up. On to the bottom of the 6th inning now. Hunter Harvey will enter. Those are Harvey's major league stats from a year ago. He did not make the big league team this year, and he's not even starting in AAA, even though he wasn't even that bad in the majors. His first inning of Double-A work does not appear to be starting off strong, as the Sea Dogs get an RBI single. I believe that was Michael Ozinski with the hit. And then here is Roldani Baldwin, who I believe has A potential. He will single that one into right. Ozinski advances to third, and now the Sea Dogs have runners on the corners as this shaky inning for Harvey continues. A major opportunity for Hudson Potts, who's 2 for 2 with a home run today. He will ground this one to first. The play is made by Chad Spangenberger. So the Sea Dogs do get the lead back, but they also leave 2-1. John Schreiber will now enter in relief for Portland, the 28-year-old righty. His first batter is Spangenberger, who gets a hanging pitch up and away that he likes. Gets that one to bounce right in front of a wall for extra bases. A big double for Chad Spangenberger, and Bowie has another opportunity to tie the game. It seems like these two teams are really just going back and forth when it comes to scoring right now. Adam Hall is 2 for 3 today. If he can put this ball in play, the runner should be able to score, and that's exactly what happens. Ground out to short. Jeter Downs will field it cleanly, but Chad Spangenberger is driven in home, and Bowie will now tie it at 4. That'll bring up Xavier Edwards. Does not have a hit yet today. That might change here. Edwards with a deep shot into right field, and it goes right in front of a wall. The right fielder tried to dive for it, was unsuccessful. That'll be a triple for Edwards. I think he thought about going home, but wisely stays at third. So a big opportunity here for Louis St. John. Over 2 of a walk today. Would love to see him get a base hit here as he crushes it deep in the left, and it just curves foul. That was a moonshot from Louis St. John. He has really good power. If only that one was fair. St. John does hit it nicely. This time into right field. It is caught, however, by Mike Poppy. So the Bay Sox do score 1, but they almost added 2 more had that LSJ home run been fair. Isaac Matson will now enter in the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll see if the Sea Dogs can keep the little streak going of each team scoring 1 run per inning. And it looks like they will, as the first batter of the inning, Warren, will go deep and right. Heston Kjerstad nearly robbed that one, by the way. But nonetheless, the home run from George Warren will put the Sea Dogs back on top. Let's go to the 8th inning now. Kevin McCarthy is in for Portland. Heston Kjerstad is the leadoff batter. Kjerstad 3 for 3 on the day. Gonna make it 4 for 4. Another hit for Kjerstad. So far, so good in his first game as a second-year pro. That will bring up Anthony McGathick now, the following batter. And McGathick gets that one past the glove of Hudson Potts for a single. So Bowie starts the inning with 2 runners on base. A major opportunity to get back on the scoreboard, try to tie the game up, as that'll bring up Christian Robinson. That one is singled into right, and the bases are now loaded with nobody out. Bowie has to score at least 2 for this to be a successful inning. That'll bring up Hudson Haskin now, the 1-2 for him. This one is going to be grounded right to the pitcher. He throws for 1 runner out at home. Then the catcher throws Haskin out at first, so it's a 1-2-3 double play. Excellent defense by the Sea Dogs. They will keep the lead. Lon Rivas will now enter because a lefty, Chad Spangenberger, is up. The Sea Dogs wanted to put a lefty in, and it clearly worked as Spangenberger checks his swing. So Bowie started the inning with the bases loaded and nobody out, and they did not score anybody. Miguel Figueroa will enter for Bowie. He was acquired in a trade last year for Reds, and his inning would go pretty smoothly, 1-2-3, as Ozinski flies this one out to second, and it is going to be caught by Xavier Edwards. So that'll bring us to the 9th inning. Can the Bowie lineup come up clutch? 9-1-2 due up, the really sweet spot of the order. So James Kelly is on for the save. 2 outs for Xavier Edwards, and he keeps the game alive, singling it into right. So runner on, 2 outs for the 18-year-old phenom, Louis St. John, and a major opportunity in his first Double-A game. The count is 3-2, and he will ground this one right to short. Jeter Downs will throw it to first in time, and that is how the game ends. The Portland Sea Dogs get the win 5-4. Would have loved to have seen a big go-ahead hit there by Louis St. John, but I guess it wasn't meant to be, and the Bay Sox start the season off with an 0-1 record. Looking at the stats today, I think we did fine. 13 hits, only scored 4. But really, everybody contributed. Heston Kjerstad went 4 for 4. He was phenomenal. Louis St. John was a little bit disappointing. He went 0 for 4. He did draw a walk and scored, so I guess he could have played worse. The Sea Dogs had 5 runs on 10 hits. Really, this was a game about offense. Neither pitching staff really did all that well, the starters or the bullpen. So now let's talk about AAA. I wanted to do this 3rd game in the series because I wanted to pitch with Max Meyer. Again, a lot of intriguing players in the lineup. Starred by shortstop Marco Luciano, one of the best prospects in the organization, but there are also a lot of other good players, such as Ivan Cortez Jr., Heliot Ramos, Anthony Servideo, Jahmai Jones. A lot of really, really talented players in here. I don't think there are as many stars compared to the Double-A team, but guys like Ramos and Luciano, I think both of those players are real good, and of course, Ivan Cortez Jr. is a very unique talent. Terran Vavra, I forgot to mention him, he is a potential. The rotation is headlined by Matthew Thompson and Max Meyer. Thompson's been really disappointing this year, but Meyer's been pretty good. The bullpen headlined by closer Matthias Hundertwasser, who has also been really disappointing. I anticipated at the start of the year that I would call up both Thompson and Hundertwasser sometime around this range, but they both have very poor ERAs. They got to get their stuff together in the minors before I think about calling them up. So let's get into this game here. Our Norfolk Tides currently 14-12. The AAA team started back in April. Keep that in mind. So although the AA team just started, the AAA team has been playing for about a month. The opponent here is the Durham Bulls, 10-16. They are the AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Rays. So here's a look at Max Meyer, acquired in the trade that sent Austin Hayes to Miami in the offseason because they needed a center fielder because, of course, we stole Starling Marte. Josh Fleming is getting the start for the Durham Bulls, by the way. He has been pretty mediocre this year as we start in the second. Marco Luciano with a nice play, but he is unable to get the throw in time, and the base runner for the Bulls is able to get safely. That'll bring up Travis Blankenhorn. He singles this one into right. So a good start offensively for Durham here in the top of the second, as they quickly have 2 runners on base for the catcher Kevin Smith, who goes down swinging at the high heat. A big strikeout from Max Meyer. That'll bring up Kevin Padillo, who grounds this one to short. Luciano flips it over to Vavra. He gets flipped on his side by the runner and throws it to first in time. A great play by Terran Vavra, but this might have been a dirty slide by Blankenhorn. Look at this one again. I mean, Terran Vavra went flying. Let's go to the bottom of the second now. Still no score as it's Anthony Servideo up with a runner on second. Jams this one into left field. The runner will be dancing home. The relay throw is not in time. I believe that was Jorge Bonifacio who scored. And the Norfolk Tides will take a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up the catcher, Davy Grulon, who's hitting .348 this year. He's been doing really well, and he gets plunked on the shoulder. Grulon looked pretty ticked off after he got hit. I think he wanted to charge the mound, not going to lie. So that'll put 2-1, 1 out for Terran Vavra, who singles this one into left. Servideo coming home. The throw from the relay man, he actually will not send a throw. So the Tides will now take a 2-0 lead. A great bottom of the second inning so far, as Marco Luciano is now up at the plate with 2 outs. Luciano crushes it deep into left center field. This one will stay in the park, but it'll drop for extra bases. Both runners will score a 2-run double for Marco Luciano. And the Norfolk Tides have taken a 4-0 lead, a 4 spot here in the second inning. A big hit for Luciano, who's been really impressive this year in AAA. He's a guy who I was not anticipating would be called up in 2022, but if he keeps playing this way, I don't see why not. The man, the myth, the legend, Greg Bird, goes down looking to start the inning. Now with 1 out, it's Jamie Omelas who singles this one into center. Greg Jones, a potential shortstop prospect, will score. And the Durham Bulls are on the board. They cut the lead a little bit as it's now 4-1. That'll bring up Michael Gigliotti, who also has a potential. He singles this one into left. And it seems like the Durham Bulls offense is really starting to look good in this inning, as they have had 3 straight base hits. 2 away now for Tom Mack. Weekly dribbles this one to Meyer, who decides to throw it to third for some reason. The throw from third to first is not in time, and the inning stays alive for Durham as the bases are loaded. We'll see if that decision by Meyer proves to be a bad one. Travis Blankenhorn rips this one into center. It looks like Julio Ramos should be able to get it, and he does. So the shaky decision by Meyer to throw to third proves to not be too bad. But Jamie Ornelas does drive in a run as it's 4-1. Bottom 4. Norfolk trying to turn 2, and they do. 4-6-3 double play. Great work by the infield. Vavra to Luciano to, what's-his-face? Ivan Cortez Jr. out there in first. But the Durham Bulls will turn their own double play. 6-4-3. As both infields really looking good at the moment. It'd be a shame if there were some bad defensive play that was about to happen. Oh, wait, that's exactly what happens. Marco Luciano drops it. Look at this. They ruled that a base hit. Did Marco Luciano not completely drop the ball? How are we blaming Max Meyer for that? I don't get it. The following batter, Ornelas, rips a double, but unfortunately for him, he actually injured his hand, so Ornelas will be taken out of the game, and Eli White will come in to substitute for him. So now 2 runners on, nobody out for Gigliotti. who singles into right. Both runs should be able to score. They do. And the Durham Bulls have cut the lead down to 1 as it's 4-3. Max Meyer should only have 2 runs against him, but since MLB The Show does not know what a drop is, that's unfortunately not the case. The runner would not stay on base for too much longer. He is gunned down by Dievi Grulon, continuing his great season behind the dish. Travis Blankenhorn strikes out. That'll end the inning. That'll end Max Meyer's day. Meyer wasn't bad. He wasn't great. He allowed a lot of hits. I'm going to count it as he only allowed 2 earned runs. I know the score table will rule it as 3, but whatever. They are clearly idiots. Grant Dayton will enter for the Bulls as their starter. Fleming's day is done. Marco Luciano with a nuke into left. If it's fair, it's gone, and it just goes foul. So in both the AA and AAA games, 2 of our top prospects nearly hit home runs, but instead they were foul balls, and Luciano would proceed to strike out on the very next pitch. Very unfortunate there as we go to the 6th inning. Felix Paulino, who was acquired in a trade in the offseason with the White Sox, will check in for relief. He's been really good this year, 1.64 ERA. He is cooking. First batter of the evening for him is Kevin Smith, who rips this one into center for a base hit. So not a great start for Paulino. But look at this, a bad throw by the center fielder overthrowing his target. Grulon has to track it down, but the runner advances to second. So a throwing error on the center fielder Bonifacio, and now there's a runner on second, but the Bulls having some trouble driving him in, but it looks like they will here as Greg Jones rips a single. The throw from right is close, but not in time. The Norfolk Tide started this game up 4-0, but now we are tied at 4. A big hit by Greg Jones, who has a very low batting average, but he's had a big game today. Let's go bottom 6. The Tide's trying to regain the lead. It looks like they might do just that. Anthony Servideo in the right center gap through a ground rule double. Run will score, and the Tides are right back on top as it's 5-6. On to the 7th inning. Felix Rosa will enter. Rosa was the Orioles' 5th-round pick last season. Already starting in AAA. He's been really good so far this year as Mark Griffith will weakly hit this one to second, and Taron Vavra now drops it. Why is MLB The Show 21 fielding so bad? I never had these issues in a past game. Never. But there have been so many defensive issues in this year's game. I don't get it. Luckily, that would not really cost us, as the following batter, Tom Mack, grounds into a double play. So the 7th inning would go fairly smoothly, other than that bad play by Vavra, which, by the way, they also called a base hit for whatever reason. Moving on forward to the bottom of the 8th inning. Look at that! A solo blast from Jorge Bonifacio, trying to sort of make up for his error earlier in the game. 420 feet, by the way. 420 blaze it. And the Norfolk Tides are back up by 2 as we go to the 9th. Matthias Hundertwasser will enter for the save. It's been a rough year for Hundertwasser. Only 6 saves in 10 opportunities. Has an ERA at 9.72. He has struck out 15 batters in 8 1/3 innings, so at least his strikeout total is high. First batter he faces is Greg Bird, the Yankee legend. Legend might be kind, but Greg Bird is a meme in the baseball community. He hits a home run into right, his 4th of the year, and Durham quickly brings the lead down back to 1 as the shaky season for Matthias Hundertwasser will continue. That will bring up the shortstop Greg Jones, who is 3 for 3 today. He strikes out a big one for Hundertwasser. Eli White now, the 2-2. Got him on the slider. Another big strikeout. That was a beautiful outside pitch. Now the game will come down to Michael Gigliotti, who has 2 hits today. Grounds this one to first. Ivan Cortez Jr. will field it cleanly. And the Norfolk Tides get the win, although this one was a little bit shaky at times. A win is a win at the end of the day. 5-6 is your final. The infield all fist bumping each other. That's a pretty loaded infield with 2 8 potential guys in Luciano and Vavra. And Servideo and Cortez are good prospects too. Again, a lot of hits in this game. 13 for Durham. We had 10, but we scored more runs. Again, the pitching was not great for either side. This was an offensive-dominated game. Both starters were pretty mediocre, and the bullpens really did not do well for either side, if we're being fully honest. Paulino gets the win, although he didn't pitch all that well. Felix Rosa pitched a lot better, but based on how baseball works, Rosa does not get the win, unfortunately. So now let's talk about the Big League Club. I simulated the first 2 games of that Indian series. We won them both, so we're now 16-15, winners of 7 in a row. The Boston Red Sox are 20-11, by the way. They lead the AL East because of their secret weapon. I have not introduced you guys to him yet, but here he is, Lenny Ling. 36 years old, a Japanese legend. You may recognize this name somewhat. His son, Benny Ling, used to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates in our franchise last year. Well, this is Benny Ling's father. Lenny Ling was a great Japanese hitter for north of 2 decades, but he wanted to play in the big leagues. He signed with the Red Sox, and he is a machine. Even though he cannot play defense or run, his bat is nuts. So he is partly why the Red Sox are really good. His numbers are not that spectacular, but he's just starting to pick things up. So we're going to simulate about 2 weeks. I want to play the Mets. I'm kind of intrigued to face off against them. And in the 2 weeks, we did fine. We were 2 games under 500 in that stretch, so we are now 1 game under in total, as our new record is 22-23. So not bad. Considering what we were in April, this is good. But I would have liked to have played a little bit better in that 2-week stretch. Currently 2 games back of the second wild card, but it seems like the wild card race is really tough. And by the way, Lenny Ling has now officially figured it out. His average in that 2-week span went from like 250 to about 315. Let's take a look at our Major League team. A lot of the guys who were playing well in April are still doing really good. Ryan Mountcastle's still killing it. Trey Mancini's still killing it. Adley Rutschman is still killing it. But we still have a lot of the same guys struggling. Anthony Santander's been a little bit disappointing. I think his OPS is less than 700. Starling Marte's OPS is barely 600. Marte has been really underwhelming this year. Of course, our 2-headed monster in the rotation has been great in Eduardo Rodriguez and John Means. Means is a legit Cy Young candidate right now. 1.76 ERA, sub-1 whip. He has been phenomenal. I expected him to be good this year, but I was not expecting this. The bullpen is still pretty bad. Colin Poche has picked it up, but Reyes, Suero, and Dominguez are all still doing kind of bad. So the bullpen is still our weakness. The starting rotation has gotten better as the year's gone along. I think that's why we're winning more games. And of course, we have 2 all-star caliber pitchers with Eduardo Rodriguez and John Means. So I chose to play this first game of the series because it's the 2 aces. Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the Orioles, Jacob deGrom for the Mets. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to face off against deGrom, but I figured, you know what? It's probably not going to go well because Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. But why not see what this lineup can do? deGrom has been a little bit underwhelming for his standards. Now, a 2.7 ERA, 1.07 whip is good for about anybody. For him, I feel like that's a little bit low. So, I mean, that just says how good he is. Ryan Mountcastle hits that one nicely into right, and it's gone. Pretty good start for the lineup, I've got to say. Mountcastle with his 9th home run of the season, continuing his great start to the year at the plate. And the Orioles with a quick 1-0 lead. I don't know how many runs Baltimore is going to score in this game. Probably not many, so it's good to get on the board early. deGrom would immediately rebound as he strikes out Trey Mancini. If the Orioles are sellers at the deadline, could Trey Mancini be on the move? He is a free agent at the end of the offseason. That's something that we will be monitoring throughout these next couple of months. Here is Eduardo Rodriguez, who has been very good this season. He's been well worth the 2-year, $30 million contract, as I don't know what Santander was doing there. He just stopped. I assumed the game was going to have him keep going, but again, with MLB The Show 21 in defense this year, I really should not have assumed anything. RBI double for Conforto, and the Mets quickly tie the game up at 1, so both teams on the scoreboard here in the first inning, but New York is going to make a quick statement shortly after. Big Meat Pete. It's Pete Alonso with the 2-run shot, his 12th of the year. The Big Apple rising up for the occasion as the Mets will take a 3-1 lead. Not a great start for Eduardo Rodriguez. I think he would have liked to play better. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning now. Still 3-1 as Conforto is walked. 2 runners on and nobody out here for Pete Alonso. Hit the home run earlier. This time it will stay in the ballpark as the Orioles turn the 3-6-1 double play. It seems like Eduardo Rodriguez is starting to pitch better after that slow start. You know who also is doing really well? This man, Jacob deGrom, who has not allowed a base runner since the Ryan Mountcastle home run. That one from Aristides Aquino goes to the warning track, but it is caught out there in center field by Kevin Pillar. So, only 1 hit so far for the Orioles. At least they scored off of that hit, I suppose. Bottom for a deep shot here for Dominic Smith. It goes off the wall. Aquino does deflect it, but that'll be a double for Dom Smith, who's been really good this year for the Mets. A lot of guys have really stepped up for the Mets. Alonso's been good. Francisco Lindor's having a career year at the plate so far. And that's why the Mets are 28-17 and have one of the best records in baseball. James McCann lofts this one into center. Starling Marte makes a play. Dominic Smith will easily score off the sacrifice fly. I don't really know why he slid. He definitely did not have to, as the New York Metropolitans will take a 4-1 lead. Look at Jacob deGrom. He actually got a single in his last at-bat. He's hitting 300 this year. Thankfully, his average did go down after that one, as it is caught by Santander. But still a good start through 4 innings for the Mets, as they are up 4-1. Let's go to the 5th inning now. Starling Marte, whose OPS is exactly at 600. That's bad. He's never had an OPS lower than 700 in his career, to put that in perspective. And Starling Marte has been a good ball player for a while. He strikes out. That'll bring up Andrelton Simmons with 2 away. Flies this one out to center. The Orioles did get a base runner in this inning. Adley Rutschman drew a walk, but still really not a lot of luck offensively for Baltimore, which was to be expected because it's Jacob deGrom. Here is Jeff McNeil in the bottom of the 5th. He leads things off with a solo shot into right field, and the Mets extend their lead as it's 5-1. McNeil with his 5th home run of the season. The Orioles will proceed to make a pitching change after that one, as Alex Reyes will check in. It's been a rough year for Reyes. ERA in the 9s. He's allowed a lot of walks. He'll probably be sent down to the minors pretty soon. To be honest, he probably should have already. But, I mean, it's only a matter of time. He does strike out Michael Conforto with his first at-bat. I suppose that's a good start. And he was able to get through the 5th inning fairly easily. Top of the 6th. Oh, my goodness. The Orioles got a base hit off of deGrom. It's Jalen Miller with the single, just the 2nd base hit of the game. The first base hit since the 1st inning. The Orioles do not capitalize as Trey Mancini strikes out. I talk about deGrom like I'm a Mets fan. Believe me, I have no allegiance to the Mets, but gotta respect greatness, and that's what Jacob deGrom is. Top of the 7th, another base hit for Baltimore. It's Aristides Aquino with a single into center. And by the way, there are no outs. This might be an opportunity to get back on the scoreboard. 2 away for Anthony Santander. He's just going to weakly pop this one up. Pete Alonso under it. He will make the catch. And that'll do it for the top of the 7th inning. The New York Mets still up top 5-1 as Mr. Met over there is warming up for the 7th inning stretch, it looks like. Top of the 8th, deGrom still in the ball game as Andrelton Simmons leading things off. He'll get this one to drop into center. Pilar is unable to make the play, and the Orioles again start the inning off with a base hit. So maybe this is an opportunity to score. Jacob deGrom would be taken out of the game after that, and it's Robert Gesellman who will enter. Gesellman's had a good year this year, 2.42 ERA. Not quite as threatening as Jacob deGrom, but he is still a quality pitcher. As his first batter, Liam Bumaye, will ground into a double play, so the Orioles definitely did not take advantage of the base runner there. And the score will remain 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Wander Suero is in. I have not really talked about the last few innings for the Orioles. They've had a few different pitchers in, but they were able to get through these innings fairly easily, so that's why I didn't really mention them. Pete Alonso with a home run into right, his 2nd of the game. The shaky season for Wander Suero will continue, and Pete Alonso will put the New York Mets up 6-1. He went oppo-poppo on that one. Don't normally see him hitting those out to right, but he did that time. Top of the 9th, Gesellman's still in as this game is down to Starling Marte, who grounds this one to short. Lindor flips it over to 2nd. And the New York Mets get the win fairly easily. Final score 6-1. I should have expected this, choosing the game against Jacob deGrom, and, well, we pretty much got what we expected. The Mets hit the ball pretty well, 6 runs, 11 hits. We played better offensively as the game went on, but we were only able to score in the 1st inning off of the Mountcastle home run. Eduardo Rodriguez did not do all that well. He got the loss. The bullpen was good, though. Reyes, Poche, Tate, and Suero only allowed 1 run collectively. Of course, 2 home runs by Pete Alonso, and Jacob deGrom did Jacob deGrom type things as he was able to get the win. So we're going to simulate pretty much to the beginning of June for the start of the MLB draft, which will be in the next episode. The Marlins, by the way, offered as a trade. It's Alicia Hernandez for Ivan Cortez Jr. I've actually been eyeing up Hernandez for a while. I was really tempted by that. I decided not to, and it looks like we received karma because the very next day, Ivan Cortez Jr. broke his hand and he'll be out for a month or 2. Fun. So we will remain 1 game under 500. We did pretty well to finish out that Mets series, and I believe we won a game against the Nationals. So that will conclude today's episode. Next time will be the MLB draft. Our Orioles will be picking number 1 overall, we will get our choice of all of these blue chip players. Let me know who you think we should select with the #1 pick in the MLB draft. And of course, we'll be going over all of the other picks as well, trying to find some potential diamonds in the rough, like we did last year with players such as Julian Starnes and Felix Rosa. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you are new for more Orioles content. I am out. Peace.